Hey YouTube, welcome back to Black Girl Goals and Things. And today I want to share a bit about my journey into being a social worker slash therapist and all that good stuff. So let me first say that this has truly been a God thing, a faith thing. This was not a Tashira thing at all. The plans that I had for myself did not involve this. I had a totally mapped out thing. And that's so funny because that's typically how our lives always ends up, right? We create this whole plan, 5-year, 10-year plan, and God has other plans, right? So that's why they always say he's funny, because he'll just flip it all upside down. So I'll start by saying that I had gotten a trade in business education when I was in high school. And I always knew I was going to go to college, even though I went to a trade school. And when it was time for me to think about a major, kind of go in, being decided, because I'm never an indecisive person. So I was like, I'm going to know what I want to do. I'm going to have everything set up from the gate, yada, yada. So when I looked at the courses that was offered for business administration, business management type of thing, something just did not feel right. Like, I literally was sitting with the course catalog, and I think they still have those. And I was like, something doesn't feel right. I don't think that I'm supposed to be studying business. Now, I had always felt the pull, the call to be in a helping profession, but that was always deterred by people saying, oh, they don't make any money. Oh, the field is exhausting. You have to do all these years of schooling to make money, to have any type of return on your investment, right? So hearing that, it obviously deterred me from wanting to even pursue or to ask any questions, blah, blah, blah. And I had no one in my family at the time that was in that field, let alone, you know, did the whole, the searching and knowing what they wanted to do with college and stuff like that. So I was pretty much like on my own. So let's say, started freshman year, had first semester, and then they kind of had this pick your major day. I stopped by the table and I stopped by the table for psychology and social work. And I was like, man, I'm really stuck. Like, I liked the professors and like the chair and stuff like that from both departments. And I was like, well, what's really like the difference? Like, y'all got them both here because I see that they're part of the social science, category and stuff like that. But how do I know which one to pick? So they might have had this going on. I forget if they had different days for it, because I remember not making a decision. I remember leaving class early, running on like the last day or something like that to make a decision. And I had chose psychology, and I was so happy. I felt that that was more of what I was supposed to be doing versus doing business, finance, or anything like that. So I do psychology. It's great. The classes is great. I was a writing tutor for college, and that was that was going well. And typically how it works is that you are a writing tutor for the whole university. So I was asked in particular one day to be a writing fellow for a social work course. And I'm like looking at my boss at the time, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a social work major. Like, I'm psychology. Now, if you are watching this, oops, sorry, y'all. If you're watching this and you are a psychology, social work student, y'all know that we both use APA, writing, all of that. So he was kind of like, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, they just need help with APA. So I'm like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, I guess I'm going to be working with social workers. But here's the funny thing. I used to clown the profession. I used to be like, I don't know why people do social work. I'm not taking nobody's kids from their house, and I'm not all this stuff. I had took a social work course as an elective, and I got like a B plus in the course. I could have got an A, but I kind of was like, blah, blah, blah. Like I wasn't really invested, let's say. So I get this opportunity to be a writing fellow for social work students. And what that means is that I was literally like the only writing tutor for this particular course. So they had like let's say I kind of was in the role of a TA. So it's the professor, it's me as a TA. These students have to meet with me to work on every paper that's assigned to them in the course. So that happens. That was great. Okay, great experience. Here, let's fast forward. It's time for me to graduate. I get a job in the field after I graduate. So, like a week after graduation, I was like already in field working. So, I always knew I wanted to go back to school. So, at this point, I'm invested. I got a bachelor's in psychology. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go the LPC route. LPC stands for Licensed Professional Counselor. Like, I'm going to go back to school and I'm just going to continue because I want to be a therapist. Da, 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 da. Y'all. I took a year to like work, get myself acclimated, got my own place. It's like doing the whole adulting thing, got my own car, blah, blah, blah. Cool. I was searching for programs. I was looking. I had a friend at the time that was very like determined to like go to grad school and like she was getting all her stuff together. And I was like, I'm not tripping. Like I know that I'm going to go eventually, but like I'm just not tripping over it right now. So, but having the conversations with her kind of like piqued my curiosity. Like, okay, like, you know, do I want to go? Do I not? Y'all, I was searching. I was looking at all different schools that offer an LPC program, and it didn't feel right. And I was like, what is happening? Like, I literally just got this 4-year degree in psychology. Like, this has to be it. Like, I felt it. Like, I knew that I was supposed to be in this helping profession. Like, I know that I was supposed to do this. Like, y'all, I was like really kind of frustrated, but then I was like, you know what? You know, psychology is broad enough. Maybe I am meant to just go off and get a master's and do like business or whatever. And I had this whole idea doing international business. I was really into the stock market. Like I was like, okay, maybe this is just a full circle. I'm just gonna come back to it, right? One day, now this is before I actually got a car because I was walking. Literally, y'all, one day I was walking up this hill and I was like, I straight up was just like, God, what's up? Like, do you want me to go to grad school? And where I lived at the time, it was very, I don't want to say it was very, but it was abnormal to see any type of advertisement for the school. I see like a van go by that had an advertisement for the school in a van. And I was like, what that type of car doing up here with the school name on it? Because like, it's not nowhere up here. Didn't pay no mind, went about my business, you know, going wherever I went. Later on that day, went out to eat and we parked in front of a car who had like their license plate in the front and the school was on the license plate. I was like, in my head, I'm like, that's weird. I don't say nothing. I think it was with my mom or whatever. I was like, I didn't say anything. Got home, talked to my friend on the phone, turned on the TV, and on the news, they had the football team for the school on the TV. And I'm like, man, 3 times in this day, I seen this school, and I'm like, what is going on? Now, mind you guys, this school in particular, I already looked on their website. I wasn't feeling their program. I was like, okay, it's not for me. So the fact that I kept seeing it 3 times in one day, and then it was every day for 8 days after that, I was like, and before the 8 days was over, let's say I'm on like day 3 or 4, I'm like, God, like I already looked at this school. Like, why? Like, why do you want me to go back on this website to get the school? So something was like, go on the website and look under the Masters of Social Work program. I'm like, okay. So I go and I look and I'm reading through and everything just is like everything is was like everything that I was looking for. Like I was like, yes, yes. So when I'm reading about like what the objectives are, like what are the goals of the program, like what people are going to be able to do once they finish and why people choose the field and kind of like all these things. And I'm like, this is it. This fits me. This fits my values as a person. This fits me and how I am. This is exactly what I want to do. This is how I envision me utilizing a degree in the helping field. So, y'all, it was like December that I got this revelation. Like, okay, after like 8 days of confirmation, okay, to that this was a school. I applied Christmas Eve of that year, and then like February 2nd of that new year, I got accepted. And it was just so crazy because I literally just remembered that small little prayer, y'all. Like, when they say God answer when he wants to, he can answer quick like that, or he can take however long. That little prayer and then 8 days of confirmation led me to getting a master's in social work degree, led me to be able to, pass my licensure and just keep going. Like the doors just kept opening. And now when I look back, I crack up. I'm like, God kept exposing me to social work, like especially having the opportunity just for me to be a writing fellow for a social work course where I had to work closely with the professor who had her master's in social work, and to help these soon to be emerging social workers, become great writers and help them with their, you know, papers and how they had to do things together. And if you guys don't know, psychology and social work are different. Are there some overlappings? Yes, but the focus is different. With psychology, you're very much focused on the individual, human behavior, animal behavior, all of that. With social work, you are studying, you're trained to understand how these systems that are put in place affects these individuals, affects these communities and things like that. So that's kind of what the I would say in a nutshell difference is and their focus is, although we all can kind of do similar jobs, yada yada yada. um but yes, so that is just like my quick like story of how I got into this field. And now being a business owner, and that part of me has never went away. I think now it's just kind of like looking at how God had pieced everything together for me, where it's like I started out understanding business and formation of it, and then I went off to school and like um did my thing, got my education, to come back now and to be able to run my own business and nonprofits and stuff like that. It's just, I just sit back and I just crack up. I crack up at myself because I know I was determined. I was like, I'm not being a social worker. And I think so many of us who say that, we end up in the field, we just be like, yeah, we should just keep our mouth shut. But I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And if you have any questions or you have had any of these type of experiences, let me know in the comments. It has been quite the journey, y'all, but I know for a fact, no matter how hard my days get, I know for a fact that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, and how I'm able to piece together these worlds, right? Like this business world and this helping professions world, like how I'm able to piece them together and marry them together. I literally just feel like I'm just operating in what I'm supposed to be doing. And honestly, that's the best feeling. Like, and when you are called to do something and you're obedient to that calling, you are taken care of. It's not to say that things are going to be easy. Never. No. You're going to be always tested. There's always something to learn and all of that. But you will be taken care of when you are obedient to what you're supposed to be doing. And I would say always keep that between you and God about his plans for you, and be very mindful, ask for wisdom on who to share things with, or ask him to send you the people who's supposed to help you on this journey into, bringing things into fruition, because like everybody's not going to understand, and it's not for people to understand. I've had people say to me, oh, I hope it works. When grad school was hard, I was like working full time. I was going to grad school. I was doing field. We put in a lot of work to get these degrees and the licensure stuff. I had somebody close to me like, oh, I hope that worked out for you. Like, I hope, just little smart jabs and different things. And when I look back now, of course, that person's like bitter, not happy, still not blah, blah, blah. But, I stayed the course even when I wanted to give up, even when I wanted to leave the field and be like, what, I knew that I should have gone off and did business. Like, I have moments like that sometimes where I'm like, I knew I should have just gone to MBA. I wouldn't have to deal with this, blah, blah, blah. But it's all a part of the journey. He never told me it was going to be easy. He just told me what he written down for me to do. but he never said it was going to be easy. So I just hope that this was inspiring and encouraging to someone and anybody who is thinking about, coming over into the field, you're switching careers. If you're a student and you're watching this, you have questions, like reach out to me. Like I love talking about this stuff and I love sharing my story. Until then, I'll see y'all next time.